Hello and welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today we're going into Toad mode over the PlayStation 5 and its half-baked hardware. So if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you think I'm too mean to PlayStation, sorry. I'm really not trying to hurt your feelings. I'm a gamer. You're a gamer, but I am a little bit tired of these freaking half-baked solutions that they keep bringing to the table. And I'm going to tell you why I feel that way. So, PlayStation 5, man, it's been out for 17 months now. I've spent well over $3,000 into this thing. I've spent, a couple $400 on an SSD for it. I have 100% supported and stood by PlayStation with every single game they've launched so far to date. I have, and I will continue to keep supporting them. But at this point, right now, at this very freaking moment, I'm pretty disappointed. And it's not just this, it's a culmination of things that I've gotten since I got the PlayStation 5. My first experience, I brought it home, I threw in Demon's Souls, and I was instantly hit with the choice. Do I want to play in 4K with pretty graphics, or do I want to go to 1440p at 60 frames a second? Flip through the modes, and I'm like, man, I just don't even want to play this game now. I just don't even want to play it now. Like, I wanted to be blown away, and I'd already been blown away by games like Assassin's Creed let me play at 60 frames a second. I've been blown away by... Because, I had my Series X for a few months later, so I got spoiled with the 60 frames per second mode. So then when I get this, and I get that game, and I'm just like, gosh, man, why can't it look like that and play like that? So instantly, all these choices, always getting hit with all these choices. And I'm just like, my gosh, man, Miles Morales, again, 30 frames a second, 4K. I was like, so what do? I picked the 60 frames a second mode. Thankfully, I was okay with that because of playing, like the other Spider-Man on PS4 Pro. So, I was like, all right, whatever, I don't really care about the ray tracing. Like, ray tracing, I don't care about reflections. Like, I really don't care. Especially in Spider-Man, when you're swinging through the game so fast, you can't never really see him. Yeah, dude, sometimes I like to stop and dawdle, but I don't really care about a reflection that's a quarter resolution. It just looks like a blurrier freaking picture of what I'm looking at on the character anyways. Like, I didn't care back then. But then, you fast forward like months later, they're like, oh yeah, by the way, man, we put it in a 40 FPS mode there for you if you got 120 hertz. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart to me was a freaking tech demo. Yeah, you heard that. Tech demo. Stuttery 30 frames a second. It was all juddery. I just can't do it. I can't do the 30 frames a second anymore. It's getting harder for PlayStation to impress me with this 30 frames a second stuff because my eyes don't want to do it no more. Like, I can't do it. And so what do? They skimp out on their VRR. The one thing that could fix that 30 frames a second, they're like, oh, sorry, you don't get low frame compensation unless we find a way to put that in there. That really sucks. Because I'll tell you what, man, this whole weekend, I was testing low frame compensation on my Xbox Series X, and I was like, wow, I love this feature. It's pretty great. Going back, testing 30 frames per second games and everything, and I'm like, wow, this is actually pretty freaking cool. Like, this takes away the judder in the 30 frames a second games, and it makes it more palatable for me to play them. I don't know about you. You might be in a different boat altogether. You might love your 30 frames a second and be like perfectly okay with that as long as the visuals are good. I used to be like that. I really did. But this generation, the start of this generation, man, with my first game being Assassin's Creed freaking Valhalla at 60 frames a second, I was like, yeah, dude, that's next gen to me. 30 frames a second is no longer a next-gen feature. I don't care how beautiful the graphics are. That just sucks. In my opinion, that sucks now. That is not how I want to experience my games anymore. And if that's what Sony insists on delivering at launch, is these 30 frames a second games, whew, man, we might have a problem this generation, Sony. Like, I've tried. I bought Ghostwire Tokyo. I bought Deathloop. I bought freaking Horizon Forbidden West. I bought every single one of them. Sackboy, all of them. All of these games I've bought. and Sony's surprise mechanics this generation are freaking none other than like it started with my first surprise. My racing wheel setup is for Xbox. I have a drive hub that lets me switch it between them and be able to use them on both consoles. Spent $100 for that thing. Worked perfectly with the PlayStation 4 and everything. I was like, yeah, dude, this is great, man. I could play Gran Turismo. I could switch it out, do whatever I want. And it worked fine. Like, there were a few bugs and stuff, but it worked fine. Enter the PlayStation 5, man. Boom. Can't use it no more. Can't freaking use it no more. Doesn't even work. Sony has locked this console down so freaking much, it's not even funny. It's not even funny. It is the most closed off, half-baked freaking console I've ever freaking... like, I can't say that. Okay. It's getting frustrating, man. Like, money doesn't grow on trees. Sony wants these premium prices for all this stuff, but they're not delivering a premium product anymore. This PlayStation 5 is not a premium product. Xbox Series S is a premium product. Full VRR FreeSync support. And you know how I know that? Because it works. It works on everything. Like, it literally works on all my screens. I get 100% compatibility with my Xbox Series S, with my Xbox Series X. Halo Infinite just dropped a 120 FPS mode for the Series S today. It was freaking pretty impressive. It's doing just as good as Spider-Man does on the PlayStation 5. Yeah, you need VRR support, you know, but yeah, it works. It looks amazing. I mean, well, it's like anywhere from like 540p all the way up to 720p. I don't think it's any higher than that. It does look like lower res, obviously, but I mean, it's the Series S, for freak's sake. A console that has a better CPU than the PlayStation 5, better VRR support than the PlayStation 5, the most hyped, wanted, requested, sells out instantly. PlayStation 5 can't even beat the freaking $300 budget Series S on basic features. Yeah, I'm a little upset about that. I don't know if getting Series S for the studio was a good idea or not, to tell you the truth. It literally drives a wedge between me and PlayStation 5 a lot more than you would think. When I get on the Series S and it's such a seamless experience, I'm like, wow, man, this is pretty good. It looks amazing on a 1440p monitor. It's consistent, thoroughly consistent. You know, I'm like, wow, dude, this is really good. This is a really good console if you have a 1440p monitor. The PlayStation 5 on a 4K TV, like, man, you have to choose. Okay, well, all right. Well, I mean, like, obviously, you know, like, I mean, the Series S does a pretty decent job. PlayStation 5 does pretty decent too on a 4K TV, but man, why does the Series S just feel like a more next-gen console than the PlayStation 5? Like, I don't understand that. It doesn't... I don't understand, like, why it's not registering with me, like, with PlayStation 5. Like, I feel like the games have taken a backseat. I feel like they've been trying to push all of these games as service games that really nobody cares about. Like, literally nobody's like, oh yeah, man, I want another Battle Royale game. I don't think anybody's out there been like, yeah, we want them. But they play them because what else do they got to play? Horizon Forbidden West, that game's 24 hours, man. I mean, yeah, you could probably stretch it out. I mean, I stretch Assassin's Creed games out to 100 plus hours. So I'm sure you could with Horizon Forbidden West, but it's just not interesting enough. There's too much fog everywhere. Like, there's nothing. Like, when you get out and you look over and you're like, ooh, man, like on Assassin's Creed or any other open world game for that matter, you're like, wow, man, that looks like a pretty cool place over there. I want to go explore that. Well, with Horizon Forbidden West, it's just full of fog. You can't see anything. Nothing looks cool but fog. You just see fog everywhere. Everywhere you turn, everywhere you look. It doesn't matter what time of the day, night, whatever. It's fog everywhere. It's just fog. It's not spooky fog. It's not well-placed fog. It's just fog for the fog of having fog. I don't get it. I don't understand it. Like, what makes that? Why would anybody want to explore that? I mean, you literally got such a small draw distance if you factor in the fog on ground level that, like, really? Like, what are you looking at? I mean, like, yeah, you can look up and see, like, mountain peaks and stuff like that, but I mean, then you got to then you got to wait for the little yellow lines to appear so you can climb anywhere. Like, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like Gran Turismo. Gran Turismo 7. Every system has that racing game that comes out and shows you all the bells and whistles. It's like, whoa, man, this is freaking beautiful. Look how great that looks. It never fails. Like, each console launches and boom, there's a racing game that just looks literally amazing on it. Sadly, PlayStation 5 doesn't have that. Not with Gran Turismo, anyways. No, it looks like a PlayStation 4 game with higher resolution. That's literally what it looks like. It looks like Gran Turismo Sport with higher resolution and a couple more tracks added in there, and it's disappointing. It's disappointing to me that it's disappointing to me that I can't get basic simple features like low frame rate compensation that would fix a lot of that 30 FPS stuff for me. If I could just set this thing in 120 and let it run the whole gamut, yeah, dude, I'd be able to play Demon Souls in 30 frames a second. It wouldn't be as juddery. Or I would be able to experience Horizon Forbidden West without it being so juddery. But no, now I gotta wait at the mercy of PlayStation to see if they're gonna drop a patch. And I'll tell you what, on my surprise mechanic from the PlayStation, I bought this OLED TV. It has 2.1 support. It has everything, full FreeSync, everything. Well, gosh dang, my PlayStation only gives me 48 to 60 FPS hertz refresh rate for the VRR. Sadly, if that's all you got, you don't get to experience the uncapped Spider-Man at 60 frames mode and fidelity mode. You don't get to experience that. You have to have the 120 hertz mode activated to be able to experience that. And yeah, sadly, it just doesn't work unless you have the VRR support, because you have to use the low frame rate compensation that's only available if you have a 120 hertz display that the PlayStation 5 will work with. So yeah, man, if you don't got that, you're kind of cut out. Digital Foundry came out today. They posted their little video and stuff. And this is already stuff that I had already learned since the patch went live last Tuesday, a week ago. I had already learned all of this within that time. I'd already learned all of that. I'd already posted videos on that. I've already freaking run the gamut on this thing. PlayStation 5 is the one and only welfare console out there right now. This thing is 100% welfare. 100%, but it's got a premium price. Why does it got a premium price? It's barely better than the Series X or Series S. And oh man, I don't know, man. Like I'm curious. I want to see how this goes. I want to see how this goes. Is PlayStation still going to reign supreme this generation? Because I mean, technically, if you look at FP32 rapid pack math, the PlayStation 5 is technically a 20 teraflop console. Whatever, man. We saw what they could do with the PlayStation 4 Pro, so I do have 100% faith that the PlayStation 5 can definitely produce some amazing stuff. But I don't know, man. If you guys don't start buying them first-party games when they launch, man, Sony's not going to invest as much in them. They're just going to start giving you mid-trash like everybody's worried about. Everybody's saying Xbox is going to give you, but if you want my honest opinion, man, we've been getting a lot of mid-trash on the PlayStation 5 that is definitely not 100% freaking PlayStation $70 quality. We've gotten some tech demos. We've gotten some other stuff, but I don't really think anything we've gotten on the PlayStation 5 could be considered a banger. We haven't received any of that on the Xbox either. Well, I don't know. Forza Horizon 5 blew me away. That was the first Xbox racing game made by the studio. Like, yeah, that one kind of blew me away, man. I'm like, whoa, dude, this looks pretty dang good. But when Gran Turismo Sport or 7 came out, I was like, no. So, in my opinion, Microsoft has that. Flight Simulator, whether you look at it as a game or not, I still consider that the only true next-gen game. Ratchet and Clank is a to me, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is a 100% tech demo with some next-gen features. That's pretty cool, but to me, it's a tech demo. So, if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. There's a link in the description for the monitor that I use for the Xbox Series S. It is 100% compatible, and I love it. The more I use it, the more I fall in love with it. So definitely check that out. And then I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks.